You helped me to see and believe that I had worth outside of the degrees and the letters and the things. And so that was the first step, really. But the second step was like, okay, then what are we going to offer people?
Yeah.
What are you going to offer people? Because I had so much knowledge floating around in my head, how to run businesses in dental, what to do, what to unpack, all that stuff. And then you're faced with, well, what are we going to offer people? And the very clear distinction needs to be made here. You can offer a low dollar offer, but you're going to have to sell a Brazilian of them to do anything.
Yeah.
And there's still a place for that. I absolutely think that there's a place for that. And then you can have a high value offer and you don't need as many people.
Yeah.
The last thing I want in my life is to be dealing with 1,000 people every single day.
Yeah.
I'd rather deal with 10.
You know how they say there's a book in everyone? What if there was a business in everyone? Even you. If you catch yourself wondering, could I sell this? Or you've dreamt about quitting your day job and doing your own thing, you're in the right place. You're listening to You Could Start a Business Doing That, the podcast for people who want to be their own boss, live a rich life, and set themselves free. With lifestyle entrepreneur Jodie Nevid.
Hello and welcome to episode 3 of You Could Start a Business Doing That. And I am super excited about today's episode because we are talking to Sue Rusalen of Talking Dental, and we want to teach you about how to create and sell 5-figure offers. So we're going to be unpacking some of the epic success Sue has had in her business. Welcome, Sue, to the show. I'm stoked to have you here.
Thank you, Jodie, so much, and thank you for having me.
It's great.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm really glad you could be here. So, Sue, I always like to kick off with tell us a bit about who you are, what you do, and why it matters.
Oh, okay. So, my name's Sue Rusalen. I am the founder of Talking Dental. Talking Dental is a business which helps dental practices grow. And I can go into any dental practice and actually help grow their bottom line and help them make money. And that might seem really wrong to people.
I think it seems great.
Well, there's a lot of dental practices out there that don't make a lot of money. They've got, their heart completely with patients. And I think we all should have our heart completely with patients, but they think that treating a patient well means offering them cheap service.
Yeah.
And I'm very much about high-end care, and I don't mean from expensive care. It shouldn't be expensive care because health funds are actually very supportive when you know how to use them properly. But I'm really about 2 things in particular are really driving me. One is the oral systemic health link, which is the link between bacteria that's in your mouth and your entire body. And health.
Yeah.
And the second thing is actually raising the profile of the people who were designed to do that, who are dental hygienists. Now, I'm a retired dental hygienist. I retired just before COVID. And I really feel that my profession from 37 years ago has actually gone downwards. There's lots of political reasons for that. But, it's a real shame that we've got people in this country who are well trained to actually help people with their oral health and oral systemic health. And they're not being given the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
We don't have any dental hygienists employed in public health in South Australia anymore.
Really?
And I don't, really. And it's a real shame. And I just don't want to leave the profession without leaving it in a better place.
Wow.
And when I talk about the link between oral health and systemic health, there's all this bacteria that lives in our mouths. We're not born with it.
Yeah.
We actually acquire it from
life.
I say mothers, lovers and dogs.
Yeah, right.
I clearly have kissed a few dogs. But, our parents, licking off each other's spoons. It's actually, they're transmissible diseases and people don't actually realise that. But that bacteria.
My mouth's feeling funny.
I know, it's already starting to feel furry.
Yeah.
But that bacteria, if actually found in a different part of the body, can actually do damage. So there's a bacteria called PG, Porphyromonas gingivalis. They've actually shown that it's found in the brain of Alzheimer's patients.
Yeah, wow.
Now, how it got there, should it be there? Did it have something? But we know that it starts in the mouth. So I know that if you can keep your mouth really, really clean, not just from a white smile perspective, but from an oral health perspective, it has a huge impact on our health.
Wow. This is what I love about your story, because you've got was it over 20 years or 30 years as a dental hygienist and practice manager in the dental industry, right?
Yeah, so I started in the dental industry in 1984. It's now 37 years in the industry.
Yeah. Across how many countries? You've travelled the world?
Four. I've worked in Switzerland, USA, here in Australia. I was the first outback dental hygienist.
Wow.
New Zealand. But, the really cool thing about my career is that I didn't ever own a dental practice. We weren't able to. We are now. But the really cool thing about that is I just got to hop around and move from place to place and really stick my nose into everyone else's business.
Yeah,
so
literally.
So I stood on the shoulders of other people peering into what they did, and I worked out what they did well and what they did wrong.
Yeah.
And I took all of those ideas and about 4 years ago, I decided for various reasons that I wanted to go out and help other people do the same.
Yep, brilliant.
Yeah, so I've, look, maybe none of this is my idea, but, it's just an observation of a very long time, nearly 4 decades in an industry.
And this is why I wanted to get you in the show, Sue, because you're a classic example of someone who can be a professional as an employee and then actually take those 30, 40 years of skills, knowledge and experience and turn it into a really viable business. And I've absolutely loved working with you over the years to see you do that. And it's incredible how it's grown. So before we get into the idea of creating 5-figure offers, I'd love to just unpack. You talked before about starting a business because you want to change the industry. You want to leave the industry in a better place. But from a personal level, why did you want to become a business owner?
Okay, why did I want to become? Well, look, to be honest with you, I was really having trouble motivating myself to go to work. I felt like it was Groundhog Day and I was getting up every day and just doing the same thing and essentially making money for other people. So some of this was selfish. Some of it was challenging myself. Some of it was unfulfilled potential or unfilled potential, whatever you want to call it. But I just thought, you know what? I always felt that I hadn't actually reached my full potential. I had all these ideas busting out of my head. I was an entrepreneur in my mind, from the time I was 7.
Yeah, you were.
I was racing around the block with all my friends, wanting to create little clubs and putting badges on them.
Selling tickets and memberships and stuff.
I was selling
and memorabilia.
Yep, and
homemade merch.
Yes, I did. I had homemade merch. I have everything. And I had all these little tables set up where I was standing at the front telling everyone and teaching what to do. And, my sisters didn't like it too much. They just thought I was a bossy cow. Like, what's she got us doing now? But, I was
We don't want to be in your club, Sue.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, okay, I've got a new club. So, but, I've got the yellow pages out and I'm flicking through and I'm finding who makes badges. And here's this, 10-year-old on the phone ringing up saying, hi, I'd like some badges. How many do you want? Oh, about 7. How much is that going to cost? And I'd be going through my piggy bank. And I didn't realise how deep that was in me. But, I also, look, you're in this life once. I want to leave the world knowing that, I've done my absolute best.
Yeah.
And, for various reasons, single motherhood, all sorts of things. It wasn't until my son turned 18 and I turned 50 that this bell rang over my head and went, if not now, then when? Yeah. If not you, then who?
I love that. And I met you right about then. And I remember you saying to me, you know what? I've just turned 50. My son Connor's 18. Fuck it, it's time for me. Fuck it, I want to be free. And I was like, I love that. Giddy
I'm
up,
glad
girl.
you're saying that well because I've been restraining myself.
No, we can drop the
F-bomb. Because I don't mind dropping an F-bomb. But, it was like, you know what? I have done so much for other people and, there's a whole history there of what I've done for other people. But a lot of this was for me and I launched into it very quickly. But then I got a bit sick of this is for me as well because it's like, okay, I'm doing that now. Now what is it that I really want to do? Yeah. And, and what's meaningful and what really makes me jump out of bed in the morning, all of those things. So,
and you've really connected with that in such a deep way because it's not just a business about setting you free, but you are really leading a movement now in an industry that's become a network that's growing like freaking wildfire, and I love it. It's so cool to watch.
Yeah.
So let me take you back to the early days. I was there with you and it was really fun.
You were. We were at Glenelg, I think, and I was sitting having a champagne on a Friday.
Yeah.
And Jodie's good when she sells a training course to you. She loads you up on booze.
Get them drunk. They become clients.
It's those really cool things at school auctions. You get all the kids' artwork out and you go, let's auction all the kids' artwork, but here's a heap of booze first.
People make great decisions when
They
they've had
do.
a few drinks. Yeah.
No, well, we were sitting, I just sat down with you. We had met previously with some other thing we were doing, and I sat down and I said, Jodie, I just need to do something and I don't know where to start and I don't know what to do. And you really, let me tell you, I hate the word unpack. I'm a bit over unpack.
Yeah.
But you did help me unpack and unravel what it was that was stirring around in my head.
Yeah.
And, you know, I made this decision at the end of that conversation that I was going to do whatever it takes to make this happen. And I went all in.
You did, which was really great. And in the early days, because you're a visionary, you know, you're never short of an idea.
No.
And you've got, I remember all your books. It's like, oh, hang on a minute, Jodie, I'll just go get my other book because I think I wrote that idea down in that one. It's like, oh, I've got some more books. Let me find the right book. And so you have all these books of ideas.
I love Office Works. I bought a dozen books the other day.
I'm a stationary junkie. Yes. So you're never short of an idea. You really are a true visionary, and you're also a big thinker. But as you know, a lot of people when they're starting out in business are afraid of big numbers, or the idea of creating a 5-figure offer can be a bit terrifying. Some people don't even think it's possible. And I remember actually going through your rate card. Remember when we actually built your first rate card?
Yep.
The idea of a 5-figure offer back then for you, what did that feel like, and where did you sit around the money and the numbers in your early days?
To be honest with you, it petrified me.
Yeah, and what about it was scary?
Well, I guess the thing is, you know, as much as I wanted to do things, I had this huge imposter syndrome thing going on with I'm just a dental hygienist. I haven't owned a practice. I'm not a dentist. I'm not this. I'm not this. And I focused on what I wasn't.
Yeah.
I haven't got the degree in this. I haven't got that. I haven't got that. And then something that having a coach like yourself really helped me to do, and I've had a couple of coaches in my lifetime, and I think all at the right time and all perfect timing, but you helped me to see and believe that I had worth outside of the degrees and the letters and the things. And so that was the first step really. But the second step was like, okay, then what are we going to offer people?
Yeah.
What are you going to offer people? Because I had so much knowledge floating around in my head, how to run businesses in dental, what to do, what to unpack, you know, all that stuff. And then you're faced with, well, what are we going to offer people? And the very clear distinction needs to be made here. You can offer a low dollar offer, but you're going to have to sell a Brazilian of them to do anything.
Yeah.
And there's still a place for that. I absolutely think that there's a place for that. And then you can have a high value offer and you don't need as many people.
Yeah.
Now, the last thing I want in my life is to be dealing with 1,000 people every single day.
Yeah.
I'd rather deal with 10.
Yeah, same.
You know, that's just how I am. And that very first offer that you helped me produce, you said it was a 5-figure offer, it was 15. It was actually 20.
Yeah. Was 20? It 20?
Yeah,
I always
20.
thought it was, that's
no,
amazing.
It was 20. I went through it. No, it was definitely 20.
Yeah.
And I said, and we're creating my rate card, and you sat there and you go, well, this thing that you'll be offering will be X, and this will be X. And you know, we came up with all those little
the value
seminars,
stack, the little thing.
the value stack thing. Yep. And at the end you went, well, what about your big offer? I'm there, what big offer? And you go, you know, the big one where you go, and I'm there, oh, no one's going to buy that. Don't be stupid.
You said to me, dentists don't spend money, Jodie.
No.
This is,
No, they won't.
They'll never.
I said, they're tight asses.
You did. I didn't want to offend your industry. No. But you did say these guys are tight asses. They don't spend money on that.
Well, some are and some aren't.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are, look, any business has to be very careful about the money that they part with.
Yeah.
And in my business, I watch about the money that I part with, but I don't worry about chasing the pennies and watch the $100 notes fly past.
Yeah.
So I realised that the people that were going to really benefit from my work were the people that weren't chasing the pennies.
Yeah.
They were willing to invest in themselves to actually grow to the next level.
Yeah.
And without going too far ahead, and I'll come back to that question properly, I've had, you know, I worked with someone last year at between April and August, which probably was the height of COVID really, that added $600,000 to their dental practice.
Yeah, one of your clients.
One of my clients.
Going through. And what was the investment? Because I'm sure your 20K offer is a bit more now. But
well, it is. But at that time, everyone was just freaked out completely that all the surgeries were going to close, this was going to happen. And I was telling my surgeries that it was time to meet the market because that's – so I actually offered that for 7.
Wow.
But it wasn't but look, it was a 20
It was a condensed version of it.
It was a condensed version.
Yeah.
So it was normally a $20,000 program. I worked with them for 3 months for $7,000.
Brilliant.
So,
and they added 600K to their business.
And that's when the
line.
penny dropped for me.
Yeah.
I went, this is what I can do for practices.
Yeah.
I'd also worked with a guy, I took his business from 1.2 to 2.3 million in 18 months.
Yeah.
Now, per year.
That's huge.
He's making an extra $1.2 million per year.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm working with someone who last year produced $3 million in their business.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of money.
Yeah.
To run a practice
There's a lot of overheads,
massive overheads. But he's on track this year to produce 5.
Wow.
And he's worked with me now for 6 months.
Amazing.
So I went from, oh my God, I don't think I can charge 20,000.
Yeah.
The guy I'm taking to 5 mil, I've just done his 6 months numbers, has invested 60K with me.
Yeah, brilliant.
So I don't charge under 20 these days.
Yeah.
Actually, I do. There's one product that I sell that's only 15.
Yeah.
So, I went from, oh my God, I could never do this,
to I don't do anything but this.
Yes.
Yeah. And I love that. And you know what? I remember when we did do the unpack, as much as you don't love that word, but you told me that in your job, that's what you did. As a practice manager, you grew practices, you helped businesses grow. And so all we did was we took you out of the employee thing and we said, we're going to take everything that you would do as an employee working for someone else, and you're just going to do it for yourself, and you're going to get to do that as a high-value, results-focused consultant.
So rather than go into work every day and manage the work and physically do the work myself and only be employed by one person and have to be there at 7:45 in the morning and not leave till 6 at night, I went from that to having 5 or 6 clients that I didn't have to be at work every day. I oversee their practice manager who does the work. I don't actually feel so good. I don't have to do the work. I just have to tell them what to do. It's just like me and my sisters back when we were 7.
You got to be the boss after all. Let me tell everyone what to do in the club.
Yeah. And they get so excited when and I do too, when they look at their bottom line.
Yeah.
Now, I know we're talking a lot about money and it is so important, but I've decided that the only people that I will work with are those people who are willing to take on my passion as well.
Yeah.
So I've now gone from saying yes to everyone to I will only work with you if you are going to be the true oral systemic dentist. The people who are going to go from this disease repair model of dentistry, which is so outdated, to a risk assessment model of dentistry. It's a completely different way to do things, and I could talk about that for hours. But not only am I helping them smash their businesses, their patients love what they're doing. Their team are wagging their tails all day long, loving what they're doing, and we're making them money, and I'm making money.
Absolutely.
And I can't see in any of that there's a lose.
Yeah.
It's a win-win-win-win-win, and we're
quadruple win on every side.
Yeah, and potentially saving lives.
Yeah, which is amazing.
So,
And I think that's the secret to building a high-value offer. We always teach that. But if you want to create a 5-figure offer, it's got to be focused on returns. There's got to be a return on investment or a specific tangible result. So even though we're talking about numbers, I think that it's important to understand that your dentists need numbers. We as business owners need numbers. A lot of people, a lot of women are very afraid of numbers. A lot of women say they don't like the numbers. But, if you can't play with numbers, then you're going to stay small in business.
Yeah, look, KPIs, key performance indicators, is something that is a bit foreign to a lot of us, particularly those people that have been in small business. But it's a measurement. It's just a measurement of how well you're doing. If you want to lose weight, your KPI is a tape measure and the set of scales.
Yeah.
If you're going to build a business, the KPIs are,
the bottom line,
and your turnover,
customer bookings, etc.
Yeah, customer satisfaction. I call that retention in dentistry. When you have 1,000 people walk through your door as a dentist, but only 500 come back next year, your business is shrinking.
Yeah.
What do you have to do to make sure that 95% plus return?
Yeah.
What type of service do you have to provide? How good do you have to be? And I'm very focused on retention as a KPI.
Yeah.
And when that KPI is right, the rest just follows.
Yeah.
So it's not necessary. It's never about, for me, charging a patient more. It's about retaining the ones that you've already got.
Yeah. And I think delivering a service that, like you said right at the start, is of high value. high value service
Absolutely.
is so important.
Yeah. I'm not running a McDonald's
No.
consulting practice.
Yep.
I don't want people to come in and just have crappy, cheap service.
Tick and flick kind of shit.
No.
Excuse my language.
No.
So a big part of your personal driver is contribution. A link to giving. You're a generous person. You're probably one of the most generous people I know. And you obviously won the Contribution Award at the recent Freedom Awards.
I did. Bit embarrassed there.
So deserved, though. Why is contribution such an important part of you being in business and you just being a beautiful human? This whole giving, why is that so important to you?
Look, contribution is really important to me. I can honestly tell you, because it's a selfish reason. It just makes me feel really good.
Nice.
So it is a selfish reason at the end of the day, because I know, look, thank you for that award. It's really lovely. I don't sort of brag about the stuff I do probably, and I think I've told you my family don't even know what I really do. But when I was stuck home as a single mum and my ex-husband and I separated, I was just really bored, to be honest with you. And I thought, what can I do? And I did a bit of, self-help, personal development stuff. And you know how interesting this is? You go to a bookstore. I heard this Simon Sinek say this the other day, so this is not mine. You go to a bookstore and you go to the self-help section, but there is not a help others section in any bookstore.
Wow. That's fascinating. Right. Never thought of it.
And the most interesting thing about self-help, when you help others, you actually forget about all your stuff.
Yeah.
And the feeling when you can actually impact and touch on other people's lives and they're so grateful. I guess, I've done some big things and I've done some little things, but, I will encourage every single person around me to reach their full potential. And if someone ever comes across my path and says, I'm just going to settle, I kick their butt and go, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
How do I help you? How can I be of service to you? And they'll say to me, thank you.
Yep.
And instead of saying you're welcome, I like to say you're worth it.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
So,
that's beautiful.
Yeah, there's some, when you can in the world truly help other people and the love that you have, we all run around going, this is self-help, I'm worth it, for me. It's like, you know what?
Yeah.
The most powerful words that come out of someone's mouth is, no, you're worth it.
Yeah.
And I think everyone in this planet is worth it. And when I live from that perspective, my life's a dream.
Yeah.
I don't have to look in the mirror. I just go, I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel good. This is so good. So, I look, contribution is all about, I don't know, I think it's what we're here for, isn't it?
It is. And I have to share with people, if you are watching and if you're listening to this, just get a sense of what I'm about to do. But Sue joined us on our Brain Body Business Retreat in Bali. And remember when we were doing the yoga out on the thing and you showed us what you do every morning when you report for service? And so Sue has this beautiful practice where she goes out each morning and you say it because you'll know what you do.
Well, I learnt this. Look, there's not an original idea in my brain. I see other people do stuff, and I went sailing with a girlfriend of mine, Leanne Ludeman, a few years ago, and she's such a joyous woman. And she steps. They own a yacht. There's a long story behind it. Actually, they don't anymore, but they did for 7 years. And she'd step out of the yacht every morning, and I saw her do this once, and I went, oh my God, that's so amazing. I thought, I'm going to do that. So you get up in the morning, you bust open the sliding doors wherever they are. Be careful not to step in your dog's poo or whatever. And you just go, good morning, universe, or good morning, world. It's Sue Rusalen here reporting for duty.
Yeah.
How can I be of service to you?
The number one reason people go into business is to break free, but instead they often burn out. That's why we created Freedom Fest, the 3-day planning retreat that gives you a 12-month planning system for life and business that will set you free. Trade meetings for moments, stress for sunsets, and long hours for Long Island iced teas. Get your tickets at freedomfest.com.au.